but it's the last day here. I mean, in Athens, and then...
How did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
That's good.
So much.
And I hope all our guests have already done so and continue to do so for the remaining of their stay here.
So, the summer season is over. So, would you say that you are satisfied with the recovery of Greek tourism?
Yeah, well, if I didn't say that, I'd probably, do not do justice to all this amazing effort by our hoteliers, the people who work there, all the hospitality chain, but I would not exclude every single person that receives you at the airport, definitely sees that you have an amazing time in this beautiful country, and then they warmly invite you back the moment that you say goodbye. So yes, we had a very successful season, and we see that the recovery has been faster than probably it was expected, and this is on a global scale. I would say that also other European and international destinations will probably testify to that. Talking about numbers, I'm sure you're interested in that. Up until August, we had a revenue of about 12.7 billion euro, and there is a forecast that we will probably reach the record numbers of 2019. The record numbers as regards revenues. Probably the arrivals will be slightly fewer, but I think that we should also discuss, during this course of discussion, I'm sure that we have fewer minutes probably envisaged, that we should focus on the quality aspect, on the general spending, on the experiences that are definitely savored, that there are people that choose Greece and choose every country, and delve into that when we talk about policies, when we talk about infrastructure, and when we talk about improvements that we have already put in place for the next decade here in Greece. So yes, we're happy. We're also happy that we see that other fields of not that traditional tourist activity have been definitely looked into, and we will make sure that we will help these experiences grow in the following years. I'm talking about the thematic approach to tourism. I'm talking about experiences, and I'm sure that you have all heard about this priority that every country is now paying to the immersive part, the more personal touch when it comes to hospitality.
It will come a question about that later. But despite the recovery of tourism, there is a global need for staff. Shortages even have a huge impact on the operation of airlines. What do you intend to do about that?
Well, you all agree that there is no magic wand. We cannot sway that and say that we will definitely have an answer and a very secure reply to all the shortages that we have witnessed in the past few years. This will continue to exist. I'm a little bit afraid that with the new investments, this might also, we will see that aggravate a bit. Let's see what we can do and what we have already done, because we're not just here to see what the declarations are. We're talking about deeds and definitely some already planned recipes. Well, beginning of spring, under the Prime Minister's, let's say, concrete directions, we were in contact with the Ministry of Labor. We also talked with the hoteliers in order to identify the shortages and make a better connection with the unemployment lists in order to better match the needs with the existing, let's say, number of people there. We're also trying to ameliorate the conditions that our tourism education is being provided here in Greece. Because when we talk about the human capital, when we're talking about the basic ingredient of hospitality, we're definitely talking about the people who choose to do that. We have seen, and I'm sure that you all see that and witness that in your countries, that younger generation do not necessarily choose hospitality as their envisaged career path. So we're going back. So the first time ever, and I'm here to announce that, we have worked on a curriculum with the Hoteliers Association, and we're going to start teaching the hospitality, let's say, lesson in the primary school, 2nd and 3rd grade. It's on a pilot basis. I'm a former Deputy Minister of Education and a former teacher myself, so I was particularly keen to make this happen. And I would very much like, of course, here to thank the Hoteliers Association of Greece, Mr. Alexandros Vasilikos and his amazing team, and my team at the ministry, and of course the people from the Ministry of Education, because we made this happen. It is an innovation, and alongside the career counseling that happens around the end of secondary school here in Greece, we're trying to definitely help the younger people see the benefits of hospitality and make them choose that the minute, let's say, they finish high school or university. So we're focusing on the existing, let's say, people that are looking for a new career path, Mr. Polizos, and we're also, of course, trying, as I said, to improve tourism education and look into the roots, trying to help the younger generation appreciate hospitality more, learn more about junior entrepreneurship, and probably choose that career path as soon as they graduate.
So let's focus on that program, the school program Philoxenia. Let's talk about that more. And what do you aspire to, through that, to achieve?
Number one, I forgot to say that, to say something before, that also one of our main goals is a tourism academy here in Greece, where we're gonna encompass all the existing schools, also include an English department, because we now provide tourism education in our post-secondary schools, but there is no English department. So we want to envisage that we also make sure that some people from abroad might want to come and study hospitality in a country where it is, of course, to our mind, of course, best provided. And when we're talking about school, we want to, of course, address the mindset issue, which is very much prevalent, of people in Greece, which is a country that has been receiving, because of course of the cultural heritage, guests for so many years, in order to change this negative mindset that has been prevalent for many years towards hospitality. And we want to make them see themselves as potential business people that can delve into hospitality and, of course, provide the best services there are. Of course, learn about local history, because the children become the best ambassadors of the place where their school is, and learn to talk about it with a sense of pride that I'm sure that will also be elaborated through this program too.
Recently, you legislated about those special tourism seals, like wineries, beer factories, cheese factories, olive oil pressed. So what is the goal of that?
As I said before, experience is so important, especially during and after COVID. We saw that the people went back to investigating more about themselves, getting closer to nature, want to know more about the local history, the local people. That's why the topic of today's discussion is so relevant, is so current. People want to know more. They want to know more about the history. They want to go and visit the cultural heritage footprint of every place. Also learn about other things like gastronomy, like the local products, like, you know, the people who help create all this ecosystem that you visit, and so very, very willingly want to do so. So we have been discussing for a very long time in the Ministry of Tourism how we can help our guests better get to know a place that they visit. For a long time, we have been providing a seal for wineries that can be, of course, visited. More than 100 wineries around Greece, they have received this seal. We make sure that we promote them around the world through our GNTO, the Greek National Tourism Organization offices, so they can have more visibility. And we discussed about enriching this experience. That's why we legislated past December, so we can have the same seal for the olive oil presses, cheese factories, beer factories, and recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I've lost track of time, probably a month, I presented some legislations and some provisions for these places to be able to cater, to have catering services and hospitality services. So small guest houses where somebody can go and enjoy this agro-tourism experience in several areas around Greece. And the regional aspect is even more accentuated in that aspect. So agro-tourism, gastronomy, and all this part of cultural heritage too, that is enriched and accentuated by the local people and their course into time.
Can you describe us the recent traveler preferences?
How they changed?
Yes.
Yeah, what we see.
Probably through the period of COVID.
COVID, yeah. Well, we are recording, of course, the preferences, and we're recording the changes in what we think the traveler needs and preferences. We see, of course, that innovation, digitization was a path that was taken many years ago, and of course, it was even more pointed out during and after COVID. So we see that, especially the younger generations, they wanna prepare their trip. They wanna live the experience even before they actually go into that. So we want to provide the best services in the digitization aspect as well. They want, as I said before, they want to experience the destination the best way possible. So they want to meet the people. They don't want this impersonal, more massive, let's say, kind of tourism experience they've had in the past. They prefer smaller places. Wellness tourism is very much a pent-up desire, as you will see all around the world. And we see also this tendency being recorded here in Greece. Agro-tourism too. And of course, during and after COVID, we saw, Mr. Polisos, a lot of people going to yachting. They wanted, especially also to feel a little bit free, and they wanted to feel more individual, let's say, services. And we're trying to meet these new preferences also, as I said before, with infrastructure and new policies. So please note that more than 320 million euro will be allocated only by the public sector, by the Ministry of Tourism, into ameliorating our infrastructure in marinas, in spas, in accessible beaches, so that our people with disabilities can easily access the beach areas. As I said, spas, gastronomy, digitization. So these new preferences, meeting also the planned policies and infrastructure and the allocation of funds that are available now and during the following programming period.
Let's talk about sustainability and innovation. They are keywords. So how can the country as a destination and the Ministry of Tourism you are leading contribute to these realities?
Well, I'm sure that in every forum and in every panel discussion, digitization and innovation, and of course, sustainability is always one of the priority words and the keywords that we use. We are very glad that Greece will be the place that will be hosting the first International Tourism Organization office for marine sustainable tourism. We will probably host it here in Athens. And also we have already legislated for a central sustainability council as well as regional sustainability councils, because we very much believe in the power of administration of the first and second degree. So alongside our municipalities and our regions, we want to talk about the sustainable tourism model. That's why also our promotion campaign 2023 will be centered as in Greece being a sustainable tourism destination. And this sustainability prerequisite, as I would say, is prevalent in all the tenders and in all the infrastructure projects that I mentioned before. So the sustainability factor will be a prerequisite for a project, for a tender to go through and to be awarded to the successful, let's say, participant and contestant. Innovation, digitization also, we have managed to digitize a lot of our services, and of course new projects are on the way with the help of the RRF. For those of you who may not have heard it, it's the Resilience and Recovery Fund, the money that was given by the European Commission in order to tackle the impact of the pandemic.
So can we establish Greece as a sustainable tourism destination?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can, and I say that with all my heart, because if we also talk about...
With all your passion.
With all passion and all the powers that we can render to this project, it's not just one person, it's a part of a team. And alongside many, many ministries, we are prioritizing in establishing Greece as a destination of sustainable, let's say, tourism practices, because it's not just us. It's, of course, the Ministry of Development. It's the Ministry of Environment. It's the Ministry of Finance. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is here, of course, and will be aiding us into, let's say, promoting this message around the world. Just a very tangible example of what I'm saying. Now we are in consultation with a new funding scheme for our hotels. alongside the Ministry of Environment in order to help them and subsidize in improving their carbon footprint. So it is a very important scheme. It is a total of 100 million euro that will be allocated to smaller family hotels, the ones that have a maximum of 150 rooms, and where they can implant and definitely plan some changes, and we can help them improve the carbon footprint, let's say, identity of the hotel. And this will also help and aid to this general aim, the sustainability factor, and also diversify our tourism product, diversify our offer, the destinations. Greece is not only about these amazing islands that we have, it's not only about Santorini and Mykonos, it is Santorini and Mykonos and much more. It is winter destinations, it is of course central Greece, northern Greece, Peloponnese, western Greece. The more we improve the infrastructure and the accessibility to those places, the more sustainable we can be and become.
How can a country like Greece further leverage its cultural assets to drive growth?
We have some concrete examples of the work that has been done by the Ministry of Culture, and I want to help them for this very conscious choice they've made in order to help subsidize, to help fund the destinations, whether that may be the first or the second degree of public administration, as I said before, municipalities or regions, where they can improve some places of archaeological and cultural, let's say, importance all around Greece, but at the same time help the digitization aspect of that. So I would like to remind everyone in the room that we already have the amazing example of ancient, ancient Olympia, sorry. Ancient Olympia, where we, with the help, of course, of Microsoft, we are developing this digital product that is traveling around the world, where you can see the actual monuments of the past rise just before your eyes, whether you're there or you want to plan your trip. So we're going to continue to do so. We're going to continue help keep those places of immense importance around the world. At the same time, though, try to plan and devise new ways of accessing the digital part of visiting them, which is, of course, much more essential when we're talking about the younger people, the younger generation. And again, because it is the competence of the Ministry of Culture, I would like to help them, the Minister, Mrs. De Mendoni, and Deputy Minister, Yatromanolakis, for all their help into achieving that.
We already talked about that, but want to be more specific. What are the cutting-edge touristic experiences in this period? I mean, in the 21st century.
The part, can you explain?
Globally.
Globally, the trends or?
Yes, the trends, probably.
Well, reminding what I said before, it's probably, you know, as I said, finding yourself through traveling, this part of the immersive, let's say, style of traveling again, the experiential one, the wellness. Wellness is a very big part of that, and we're going to make sure that also Greece adds some points, let's say, to a general ranking and performance when we're talking about wellness. Marine tourism a lot, and yachting, especially here in Greece with those, the Polynesia aspect. You understand that this would have been a priority either way. But we also see that people that want to go into adventure, into things that have to do with hiking, things that have to do, you know, with testing yourself, trying yourself. That's why you will see billions of revenues and millions of people traveling until 2030 for sports tourism too. And this is a tendency that is recorded also every single weekend in many, many parts around Greece and around the world, where you see people go, they run, they do the triathlon parts. They want to get to know their strengths and the weaknesses. They want to try themselves, and they want to do that in a more leisurely way. So probably these are some of the let's say, the tendencies that we see. I would also like to add to that the MICE aspect, because it's very important also for a city like Athens, where you have a lot of events, a lot of conferences, and you see a pent-up desire also for people to travel again, meet. The hybrid style is here to stay, but I see that, of course, people want to meet and gain from all these side, let's say, perks and profits of being together. These come to my mind at the moment, but I'm sure that there are so many that, you know, they come up and we want to take stock of them.
I'll pick the same word. We want to gain some time. So, are there questions for the Deputy Minister of Tourism? Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Minister. I'm the president of the Global Federation of Competitive Councils, and tomorrow we're leaving to go to Yanina.
Yes.
We're going to Yanina to see innovation on the ground, but we know, of course, this is one of the great historic, very cultural, rich places in Greece. So we'd love to hear something about Epirus when we head north tomorrow.
I'd be very happy to talk about it.
Thank you for your fabulous talk of vision for tourism as an innovation, capacity, and imperative for this fantastic country.
Thank you very much for visiting Epirus. I do not come from Epirus. Don't say that I'm prejudiced. I come from central Greece, a place which does have a ski center. Let me also remind you that Greece does have 24 ski centers. 17 of them were in operation last year, and they did amazingly well. We had a lot of good quality snow. But talking about Epirus, dear President, let's say, and let's also point out how important it is to improve infrastructure, to improve accessibility, because now Epirus is starting to enjoy the benefits of increasing numbers, arrivals, either of Greeks that get to know the destinations more when you travel alongside to go to Ioannina, or even people that arrive at the airport of Ioannina, or even Thessaloniki, to go to Ioannina and get to know the destination. We see a lot of people, you know, that Epirus was a traditional destination from people from Israel. They used to come because they love hiking, and they love to discover nature and the surrounding parts. But now I see a lot more people coming from different countries, so I do see this diversification aspect definitely being achieved there. New investments, but it does come with an innovation hub that is now being created. There are many faculties there, so you will see many, many young people, and the cultural aspect is so important. Multicultural, and of course, a rich variety of monuments that you will see while you walk in the city of Ioannina. Please take some time to see the lake area. Many sports events are taking place there. And I'm sure that you will have some time to also to travel a little bit further away from Ioannina to the amazing mountains where these activities are taking place, and new guest houses are being built in order to cater for the needs of, as I said, increasing flows of people who want to go to Ioannina. So thank you again for choosing it. It's very important for people around the world to really learn and get to know Greece as a destination which is not only about the sea and sun, it's so much more. It's the other Greece that we really want you to discover.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Zacharaki.
You
will get the golden key of the city. You're the golden ambassador of the city of Ioannina.
Or many cities.
Thank you so much.